Oh, we're recording.
All
First
right.
podcast.
Welcome to Tour de la Med.
The Tour de Med. Oh
All
man,
right.
how was your week?
That was good. I feel like we should introduce ourselves first. It's the first episode.
That's a good idea.
I feel like that's something fitting we should do.
You can go first. You have
All
the
right.
honor.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Ethan. I'm currently here in Florida. I'm a senior in high school, and yeah, I'm very interested in medicine. So I call myself an academic weapon. I'd like to describe myself as a sexy scientist. I have the brains, but we're also getting the brawn too. So that's
Yes,
good.
sir. What medicine are you going in?
Well, right now I'm currently interested in plastic surgery, so I want to be a surgeon, but that can change. I
True.
kind of been thinking about orthopedic or even emergency medicine because I feel like emergency medicine you get a lot of action and stuff, and a lot of adrenaline constantly going. I feel like I kind of like the rush of being under pressure. So I don't know. I never know where I'll end up, but I'm sure I'll be in the medicine field
That's
someday.
interesting. Emergency medicine. So I'll
Yeah.
introduce myself. I'm Daniel.
Okay.
I'm also a senior in high school in Florida, and I'm going into veterinary medicine. Medicine,
Yes, sir.
and right now I'm more into surgery, but I don't know where I'm gonna take it because I like all the animals and generally you specialize. So so yeah, we'll see. But for emergency medicine, have you seen like any TV shows like 911 or what's the
Grey's
other one? The Night
Anatomy.
Shift? It's
Grey's
crazy,
Anatomy.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
would you be down to do like an overnight shift?
Dude, I'm gonna be doing overnight shifts anyways. When I'm doing my rotations and stuff, I'm gonna be clocking in 80-hour work weeks, 100-hour work weeks. Who knows, man? But I think about 3 weeks ago, I'm also the president of my school's pre-med club, where we basically outreach to different people in healthcare, and we actually had a ER physician come in, and she told us this interesting story at the water park. This can get a little graphic, but I'm gonna go into details here. So basically, at the water parks, you know how like they have where you put the floaty things, the conveyor belt, and
Yeah.
you go up on one of those. So basically, some dude, well, he was just chilling. I assume he's just chilling. Had his arm out, got his arm stuck in the conveyor belt. His whole entire arm ripped off, and then they had to rush him to the emergency room, but they weren't able to put the arm back on, so he lost his arm. But I'm pretty sure he survived. But it's just a crazy story. Like what other specialties are you going to be able to get some cases like that? So I feel like that's really cool. You get to tell some very interesting stories. So she was basically saying like the moral of the story when they say keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle or like thing, you should probably listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's a good point. With emergency medicine, you get cases that just you don't see anywhere else. It's
Exactly.
like the freak accidents, but at the same time you get a lot of random stuff. Like for example, like in vet med, I'm seeing a good percent of emergency visits are dogs that ate something they weren't supposed to eat, and you're just making them vomit.
I mean, yeah, that I feel like that's the same thing with emergency medicine. Like those cases, I don't feel like you're gonna see those every day, but probably most of the cases will probably be from like an old person falling down or something, and they come in, and then you have to take care of them like that. So
That yeah,
yeah, like
I
every
haven't
day
really
it's not
thought.
gonna be like a bridge collapse or something. You have like a giant influx of patients coming in. So
I haven't really thought of it that way.
yeah, I
They
mean
just have a
like
bunch of old people.
old people, and there's even like one of the things the doctor said, she was saying about like she likes emergency medicine because you really get to help everyone. Or even like homeless people or people who can't afford, like they're going to the emergency medicine, they might not be able to they're going to emergency room, they might not be able even to pay for doctor's visits or stuff, proper health care. And then once they go in there, the doctors, they get to help them no matter what. So you're basically being able to help anyone, I guess. So that's cool.
Yeah, going into that, medicine in the US is incredibly expensive, whether it's vet med or just regular care.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's something that's really interesting. The main way I got into like shadowing a veterinarian was through a free vaccine drive. I was
Really?
volunteering there and kind of met the veterinarian, and then he invited me over to his clinic, which was a half clinic, half shelter. So it's definitely something I'm passionate about. And the thing I love is like when you see veterinarians travel to Africa and they're just helping like elephants and tigers. Well, not tigers in Africa, but lions and exotic animals.
Yeah.
So, is there a lot of that in like medicine? Like,
Which
I've
part?
definitely heard of, well, obviously not traveling to Africa to help, yeah, animals,
I
but
mean, there's mission trips, I guess. People tend to do that. I mean, there's always a
do you
need
go
of.
abroad?
Yeah. I have a piece of hair in my ear. One sec. Sorry.
I need
But
to
anyway.
unplug my headphones and plug them into my laptop because I hear myself twice and it's really getting to me right now, man. Okay, cute. Speak.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that
Okay.
was rough, man. I was struggling to make the sentences there.
So where was I going? Oh yeah, mission trip. So even there's a girl in my research class right now. She's studying physician like causes of why there's absence of physicians in Africa. So she's basically saying like a lot of the physicians like they don't want to work in Africa because of the resources and the pay and stuff like that. So they choose to leave Africa and go other places where they find better opportunities for themselves. So she's basically researching like why that's happening. So I guess I mean there's always going to be a need to help others that don't have access to healthcare, and that's really cool. Also,
Exactly. And speaking of the pay, there's a big, I don't know if I'd call it a pay gap because it's two different doctors to veterinarians. The pay is way different.
can you introduce me to that? Because I'm not really I I don't really
Okay,
know what's
so
the pay for
let's
that.
get actual numbers here.
Okay, okay,
So let's do plastic surgeon salary.
all right. But I feel
So
like we need to take into account level of training and pay,
yeah, okay.
right? Okay,
So
so
the level of
for
training, you
yeah,
do 4 years undergrad, give or
okay,
take.
and what about for vet? 4 years undergrad
Same
also.
thing. 4 years
Okay.
undergrad, you need to get your prerequisites for vet school.
Yep.
Then you're doing the same for med school. It's 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the same 4 years for vet school. It's pretty hard to get into both, and same kind of pay, really expensive.
Yep.
Then, if you want to do a, I'm not sure for med, but for vet med, if you want to get board certified, so if you want to be a board certified surgeon or you want to be a board certified neurosurgeon or whatever, you have to do usually a year of internship, which is not necessary but recommended.
Yeah, usually an internship and then following your residency.
And
I
then you do
know.
like a 5 year residency,
Yeah, I know for plastics, pretty sure it's a 7 year. It's like
7 year
one of the
residency.
longest one of the longest residencies.
Yeah, I
But
think it's,
it's but like when I see it as I try to look at it at like 7 years of just honing your craft,
yeah,
becoming an expert. So like and while you're those 7 years, it's not like you're just doing scut work, crap work. You're actually learning and learning how to get
exactly.
better. That way you can be the best surgeon, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, you're working in residency pay for vet is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's you can live off it, but you're not taking luxury vacations or nothing
Mm,
like that.
no. So yeah, did you ever look up the numbers?
So you're doing similar schooling, let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
For plastic surgeon in Florida, the average is $251,383 a year.
Hmm.
And then for a vet, So for a vet salary, it's between 65,000 and 150,000 a year.
Really?
Yeah.
As an
So
attending? Like
like a
fully
veterinary
like
surgeon.
independently functioning vet surgeon?
Do you mean like owning your own practice?
No, so like in medicine, you have so your internship, you're called an intern. And
Yeah.
then you have residency where you basically always have someone above you. So you'll have
Yeah,
like an
yeah, you have like
attending.
the doctor.
Yeah, but once you're attending, you're like the top doctor. Like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
your
So
full control. Like
so yeah, this is once you're a full veterinary surgeon, once you're
really,
attending, you have your own patients.
really.
So it's interesting because you're getting similar pay and not incredible, like kind of going
What's
up.
healthcare access for? Because medical bills for humans at least is obviously very expensive. It's like the number one debt for Americans probably. So what does it cost a lot of money for like pet visits? Because I don't have any pets personally, so I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
know.
I have two dogs,
Hmm.
and for their annual, which is usually like check the heartbeat, maybe I think it's every. For my older dog, it's a blood test, and then they do one or two vaccines. It's like close to $200, I think.
Okay.
It's not crazy, but it's not cheap either.
And do you guys have like is there insurance for pets?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
So, but the insurance we have is kind of weird. So my older dog is a Labrador, and she was born with elbow dysplasia, which is like a malformity of the bone in the
Yep.
shoulder or in the elbow, and that caused her to put more weight on her knees for support, and then the equivalent of an ACL snapped in her knee,
Okay.
and which is called the cranial cruciate, and she had to have a surgery, which was
Okay.
$5,000.
Hmm.
That was covered fully by the insurance, but when she was
Let's look up.
healing,
Let's look up how much an ACL repair would cost for humans.
but yeah, continuing with the story, when she was doing when she was going through recovery, her other one snapped, and let's see,
So as it looks up, it says about $800 to $3,000.
by a special, yeah, well, that has to be by a specialist.
Yeah, so that'll probably be an orthopedic surgeon, most likely.
So yeah, I'd say it's similar. Sounds a little cheaper, and I'm sure you can find cheaper
Hmm.
options for the surgery. But the place we went to is like it's quite a luxurious hospital, and yeah, it was expensive. So her other one tore pretty much like 2 weeks after. And the way the insurance works, the specific one we have, is there's a cutoff per year. And we were above that because of the surgery already. So the first
Hmm.
surgery was covered fully. And the second surgery was kind of like, you got to pay most of it. So are all of them like that? No. You just have to like choose and be able to predict. Because, well, you can't really predict it. It's just, is it something that you want to pay more for it to not have a cap, and then maybe nothing happens and you just pay the extra, or
Yeah.
something really bad happens and covered. But for expenses, I'm not sure. Like a simple emergency visit is for humans, but I'm gonna say 2 weeks ago, my grandma's dog, little dog, sausage dog, ate
Wiener
some
dog.
M&Ms. Yeah, wiener dog. And she calls me and she's like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "We gotta go to the emergency." So we take her there. They make her vomit. Literally took, I don't know, 20 minutes. The injection or pill, seen it both ways. They vomit, then injection to stop the vomiting, and then something to like coat the stomach to help it out. $400, $480
Yeah.
for what was 30 minutes.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Going back to the pay gap, then basically same amount of schooling,
Hmm.
same amount of cost for procedures, similar. And so why is there such a big gap? That's very interesting.
That is a very good question, because
Right?
I don't really see a reason. Like you said, same schooling, same experience. It's
Hmm.
just I think we give
Same
more
demand too.
importance.
I mean,
Exactly, because
almost everyone has a pet.
a lot of people have pets.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the vet, they're packed. They're always booked. So there's very similar demand,
Hmm.
and I honestly don't know. My guess is, and this is totally a guess, is we give a little more importance to like human health because we're humans.
Yeah.
So I guess if we pay higher for humans, there's gonna be more advancement and more like what's the word? I'm gonna put more effort into it
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
with
I understand what you're saying.
because with
Yeah.
vet med, at the same time, there's a lot of malpractice.